So here's the thing, right? As you will have seen yesterday, in Nepal, there was huge unrest, which culminated in the Prime Minister, KP Sharma Oli, stepping down, the entirety of their government and officials stepping down, some of their houses getting burnt, and it was really a mess. I understand that the Prime Minister's wife also lost her life because they burnt her house while she was inside, but I'm not sure if that's true. It was reported, though, right? Now, what essentially happened was, as you can imagine, the economy's been bad in Nepal. And young people specifically were increasingly becoming frustrated with what they saw with the minister's children living very lavish lifestyles. They were on Instagram, I guess, just living a life that the young people themselves were not living, right? So then they started a campaign, which is essentially about Nepo babies. And this was largely an online campaign. This online campaign caught so much fire and traction that they shut down social media in Nepal, right? And then when people realized that, they started to go out into the streets to protest, specifically in Kathmandu. The government then put in place some curfews. The young people started fighting with police over there, right? And it got to a point where I saw a video yesterday where they're dragging the finance minister in his underwear.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Somebody was hit with a fly kick. It was actually, we laughing, but it was no laughing matter at all, right? This got me thinking of a statement that Julius Malema made back in 2018 in June. This is what he said. Listen.
Things are going the way they are. There will be a revolution in this country, I can tell you now. There will be an unled revolution. An unled revolution is the highest form of anarchy. Even me, I'll be a victim of that. Why? Because I've committed a class suicide. I'm no longer with them in the townships. I'm now staying in town. I'm in parliament. I'm earning a salary. When they rise, they will rise against the middle class, and I will not even stand in front of them and stop them, because they will say, you sold us out, you left us in the townships, you went to join them there. I can tell you that now. This inequality, which is growing, which the gap is widening and racially based, blacks becoming more poorer and whites becoming more richer, is not sustainable.
Now, in 1993, when Chris Hani was killed, right, South Africa was getting ready to go towards the elections. The first democratic elections, those are going to happen in 1994, 27th of April. And obviously, the government then, which was the National Party government led by F.W. de Klerk, was no longer legitimate. They were just placeholders headed towards what we were going to have as a legitimate government. And when Chris Hani was killed, the country was on a knife edge. And I guess everybody realized it, because Nelson Mandela, who literally was, I'll use the term nobody in government at the time, then delivered a State of the Nation address. He addressed us without him being president. And it's because they realized that he was the only person who could calm the seas down. Had it not been for that, maybe there could have been civil unrest. Who knows? Mbali, I want to come to you because the government is aware that the risk of unrest exists.
Certainly. And I mean, Caesar, this also draws back to what we experienced during the July unrest during COVID, at the height of COVID. And this article here from the Business Take, I mean, also just points to that, just showing that government is really preparing for some sort of social unrest in the country. And it says here that even this was highlighted and adopted in the National Security Strategy, which was adopted last year in Cabinet, basically flagging the issues of concerns of the risk of a social unrest in the country. So basically, plans are in place to ensure that, all is above board, should we see any issues of a social unrest in the country. But at the same time, they say that, at the moment, things do remain stable in the country when it comes to issues of a social unrest. But you never know. We can be caught off guard, just like how we saw it during the July unrest.
Yeah. So here's the thing with this, right? It's kind of like a veld, right? In the winter, the veld runs dry. All you need is a spark.
Oh, yeah.
Then the wildfire will ignite.
We see that in Cape.
Yeah. So, Mbo, if this thing did happen, is there a politician currently that you trust? So I mean, like, yo, at least Usman Ban would save us.
To be honest with you, the thing about politicians is that more often than not, when they're starting out, they're all there with a whole lot of fire, and you almost rally behind them, right? But once they get into the cushy positions, that's when you tend to see the real them, and that's when you sometimes change your mind about them. Do I have a politician in this country at some point that I think, should we have political unrest, that's the person who can save us? No.
Ew. Juliet, do you think if something like this happened, would you be with the people or against the people? Do you consider yourself to be a part of the people?
I consider myself to be a part of the people when it comes to sharing the same frustrations and the same hopes. However, if it comes to the point of going to the streets and dragging ministers, that's where I'm like, am I really a part of the people? Am I joining them? I don't see myself doing that, but through dialogue and perhaps holding people accountable because we're journalists, maybe that's when I can be a part of the people. I share the same frustrations and hopes, but I'm not going to the streets. My guy, no.
I'm with the people in spirit. Definitely.
I was about to say, I feel like as South Africa, the one thing that has always saved politicians in inverted commas is the fact that unlike our continental counterparts, like the Nigerians who will take to the streets, the Kenyans who will take to the streets. See, now we have this thing of wanting to complain either on Twitter, Facebook, in our little corners in the office or wherever. But we are not a let's pick up arms and do something. I feel like that spirit was left in apartheid. It rises every once in a while, but it's never a collective, as South Africans, this is what we're going to do.
Well, it won't be collective because there's class divisions, right? So you yourself, you are part of the problem. Should a revolution happen? I'll be the first one. I'm with the people, like I said.
Okay.
I'll teach power to the people.
Yes.
But I'll be on a plane with my family leaving. I'll teach it from the jets.
That's my point.
On a serious note, let us know, what are your thoughts regarding this? Should a revolution happen? Is there anybody you trust who'd be able to quell the fire?
Good morning, Kati. Good morning. Show Bob. I say, see, we bambile live. If things don't change in this country, I'm jail. Where about Totanga under now played? So I want to Totanga you are my flying cheek like a busser.
That's funny.
I will be with the people in prayer. And where will I be hiding? At least when one was about Kibili Panoi, Gosiam, got that in Abanya eyes is a standards as like them. I can't Spelungulu, Tingenati, Aspect.
There will never be a youth revolution in this country until all the youth leave their political affiliation and confront the common enemy as one. So they know that we are divided according to our political affiliation. So they are in the comfort zone. They know it will never happen. So until that happens, then we are stuck with this particular enemy.
Well, do you remember Fees Must Fall, right?
Right.
There were different political affiliations there, but the youth stood together.